I always love how everybody, and don't get me wrong, I love listening to Mel Kiper.
Do
He's great.
you? You're one of the few people that I would
Um,
say loves listening to Mel Kiper.
I do, just from the standpoint he puts so much time and energy into all of the players he looks at and ranks, and a lot of times he's not wrong about the player.
Mm-hmm.
He's just wrong about where they're going. Like 89% of the time. Um, so I actually like listening to the guy. I do, but man, I want to know what his percentage is of actually getting one of these picks right. It's got to
Uh,
be low.
it's got to be super low. Yeah, I would say low. Let's see, sports.
Now, in his defense, or maybe not, it's actually not his
That's a
defense. He
bold.
should have
That's a
learned by
bold
now.
defense.
No. He should have learned by now. He should know that when you get to teams like Cleveland and Jacksonville,
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe Arizona some years, they're not going to do the logical thing. Like, they could have no tackles on the team and desperately need a tackle, and they're going to draft a defensive lineman that they have 19 of. And he should have learned by now that you can't count on these teams. You got to start taking that into account. But
Let's see.
or actually, really, the last 10 years of the New York Giants, for the sake of Pete, I've never seen a team consistently just,
I
well, maybe the Bears.
I think the Bears kind of. All right, so here's that. All right, so we got that going on. Got that going on. Uh, oh my. Gotta send a quick text message. From now on, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and just call the Cleveland Browns, as Pat McAfee says it, the Cleveland Browns. Okay.
And the Browns are a team that you can always count on to screw up.
Um, Come on now. You don't mean that. Okay. My gosh. Should I have worn my coronavirus mask? Probably.
What's it?
So should I have worn my COVID mask? Probably.
Probably. I mean, this is, you know, you're in a room completely by yourself. You never know who could get it.
That's too good of a point.
Some of these folks have went just a little too crazy, man.
Drop frame rates 3 minutes ago. Oh, we'll be good. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Cool. Well, we're basically ready to start. I mean, we do have our regular whole two people watching us, so I can't, I can't say. Um,
Is one our producer?
which one would be the producer? Oh, Luch? Gosh, no.
Yeah.
I think one of them would have to be my manager from work, so only nice things. And the other one would probably be your wife. So again, really bad things coming from me.
I would expect zero less than that, you know.
All right, man. Well, to those of you that are watching, welcome back to the Big Banter podcast. You're probably wondering a few things. Where have we been? What the hell kind of name is the Big Banter? How is Neil doing? No one cares. Let's start with the first thing. The Big Banter podcast. It's just a fucking name. All right, I don't know. It was just a name that I thought was clever at the time. So who knows? All right. How have we been doing? It's been, how long has it been, Neil, since we've done our podcast last?
It's been over a year. It was right before. Let's see. I moved March of last
Hmm.
year. It would have been probably the middle of February when we did the last one.
Yeah.
Because remember, Judah had cancer surgery at the end of February.
And how's he doing now?
Well,
That's good.
doing well.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, yeah. Those got to get checkups and all that good stuff, but he's been doing well. Um, he's taller than me now.
I think a lot of people are taller than you.
Yeah, well, they really are. They really are. Um,
So
but
we,
it was nice for that, 14-year span where I actually ran as the tallest person in the house, and now I'm just taller than Beck. That's it.
let me ask you a question. In the
Yeah.
over a year time that we haven't had this, what has been like the bigger disaster? This coronavirus pandemic that we're living through, or the situation with the Houston Texans?
Oh, that's easy. The Texans. I mean,
Clear as day. Clear as day.
it's,
Did you
I,
did you,
how does Bill O'Brien still have a job? That's what I want to know.
how did you work out a second round pick and an aging running back for Hopkins, and then the Minnesota Vikings turn around and get a first round pick for Stephon Diggs?
Oh, it wasn't even just a first. They got 4 picks out of that deal.
Did
I
they?
mean, 2 of them were lower. Yeah, it was like a first, a fourth, a fifth, and a seventh, or something like
What
that.
made you not call Buffalo to ask them?
I They probably were offering too much. And I mean, Bill didn't want to rob anybody, so
You're right.
thought he better go with the lower offer. I mean,
And
how does the man still have a job? Really, I don't get how he has a job.
so he parlayed that situation and went ahead and signed an up and comer in Randall Cobb. Um, and then
Who's about 3 years past his prime.
that's a good way of putting it. And
And it's
then
it,
and then
yeah,
and then took that same second round pick that he got and then flipped it for Brandon Cooks. Now, if we take
yeah.
both of those players in a year, they might equate to the quality of player that DeAndre Hopkins has in about 4 weeks. Is that a wrong assessment to make?
No, it's really not. And here's the really, really, really sad part:
Uh-huh.
the amount of money they had to spend on Cobb and Brandon Cooks. They could have just gave D Hop his raise and saved money.
What do you think it is?
That's
What do you think
nice.
it is that made Bill O'Brien say, I need to trade this guy off? Do you think the rumors are true about him being racist and things were getting testy, or
Yeah, I don't think it's because there's a lot of black players who really like playing for him, and so I don't think it's a racial issue, but I have heard that if you get on his bad side, you're out. It doesn't matter how good you are, how important you are. No one's bigger. Bill O'Brien still has college football mentality, where the coach is the biggest person in the locker room. In pro football, that's not the case, and to treat D Hop the way he treated him is just unfathomable.
so do you think
I mean,
Deshaun Watson is going to be gone in the future?
if you're Deshaun Watson, do you not sit back, look at this, and go, okay, wait a minute, let me get this straight. We traded D Hop,
Mm-hmm.
the second best wide receiver, arguably in pro football.
Yep.
We got a broken down running back, 32-year-old wide receiver. Granted, Randall Cobb is great in the locker room and he can have his moments, but he is way past his prime. And Brandon Cooks, who can't stay healthy to save his life.
Do you remember how much they
If I'm
traded away for
Deshaun,
Laramie Tunsil?
oh, that's right.
So they got Laramie Tunsil, who is a Pro Bowler, but they gave away this year's one, next year's one, and I think a third round pick. So it's like you really have to hit on like these next couple drafts with these picks,
Got to. You
which
got
I
to.
just don't see it in their history. I mean, do you know of a quality second round pick that they've had. I mean, I think AJ Boye, who they drafted a few short years ago in like the third, but he got traded away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he probably was a little too good for the team. He needed to send him someplace else.
He was playing too well.
Yeah, he's playing too well. But yeah, I mean, no. And in second and third rounders, I don't care what the team is, they're not, automatics by no means. We all have seen that over the years. Heck, first rounders ain't automatics. May I flash back to Green Bay's debacle when we could have drafted Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders. No. We drafted Tony Mandrich.
Right, but you're complaining about something that happened in 1991. It's
88.
80. I was born in 88. I mean, Lord, I don't think it's that bad. I think since then you've won a Super Bowl or two, so it's been okay. It's been okay.
Been to 3-1-2. Yeah, it has.
Who's counting? I guess.
But it's still it's a little painful when you give 5 Hall of Famers and 6 picks, and we pick the one guy that's bust. But it happens at the end of the day. It's just I don't think Bill O'Brien's a great talent evaluator. He shouldn't be GM. He's barely.
How do you do? Why do you give him the reins to be your GM and your coach? I don't understand that process of thinking.
I've never understood that process of thinking. I mean, every once in a while you get a guy that can do both roles, but that's such a rare find that you can get a guy. Because I mean,
can maybe name a handful in all of sports. That's like Greg Popovich and God, who was the Green Bay head coach back in the day who went to Seattle?
Holmgren.
Those are 2 guys I can only think of.
Well, and Holmgren even came out. I mean, because when Holmgren originally went to Seattle, he did both roles for maybe 3 years.
Sure.
2-3 years is it. And Holmgren went, look, I can't do them both. I gotta focus on one, and I want to coach. So we need to get a GM. And Holmgren was an amazing coach, but when Holmgren broke down, he's like, look, a GM is 60 hours a week, and a coach is 100 hours a week, and there's just not that much time
exactly
on the week for me to.
Is this Bill O'Brien's last year? Does he make it through the season?
I don't know. I mean, hey, he doesn't. If I'm Houston's ownership, if he does not win out the gates right away, I am cutting ties and sending. But then again, I thought as soon as he negotiated the D-Hop for terrible, I thought they should have fired him right there. The owner should have picked up the phone and went, look, that was an early April Fool's joke. I'm sorry. We're not getting rid of D-Hop.
I don't think the coronavirus affects your mental state. So I don't know if there's an excuse there.
No, I mean, Bill O'Brien's been making these idiotic moves for too many years.
I think what's going to suck
his blackmail on Houston has got to be deep.
I think what might suck is if you're Houston, your outlook for next year doesn't look the best, and you're Miami and you have their next year's one, you're looking at another potentially top 10 pick. That sucks. So there's that. To move on.
Did you see the tweet, by the way, from T.J. Watt back after the D-Hop trade?
No, what did he say?
Because Pittsburgh had just signed Derek Watt, so 2 of the brothers playing for the Steelers.
Yep.
T.J. Watt tweeted, Hey, Houston, we got a 7th round pick if you want to send me my brother.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't really hurt the Steelers to attempt that trade. They needed more D-line bolstering.
Unfortunately, as much as I love J.J. Watt and as good as a football player he's been in his career, you wouldn't be able to get much more than a 4th out of the guy. He can't play a full year. He's really
that would be a really good trade, in my opinion, at this point in time in his career. I don't think that's a bad thing.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm calling, because why not put all 3 Watt brothers on the same team and let them and just use JJ situationally. He doesn't have to play every down.
Sure.
I don't know if JJ plays past this year. He's always said, once he got married, he would want to hang it up. I think he just got married, or he's getting married this summer, or just got married.
What a lucky lady. But his body is breaking down quite a bit, and so I would.
His back is bad. His shoulder has been tore up, and I know he doesn't want to get just completely decimated and injured. And
So, before we move on to this mock draft, because I feel like for doing 30 teams, this might take us a minute, and I don't want to kill everyone's time. But and maybe this is me, like, because I seem to like wake up into this like nightmarish situation that is life, right? We're in the middle of a pandemic. I wake up every morning and I'm like, why is this our president again? And the last thing I think I'm being played a prank on is every team that has released a new uniform this year all look the damn same. Is there not one creative bone in any of these teams' front office's body? Can you just? Why do the Browns look that way? Why did the Patriots just carbon copy the same thing? They all look like literally generic Madden teams that like here's your outfit. Go ahead and change the colors if you want to. And they all look the same.
It's almost like I've always thought that the NFL has worked with Nike and told Nike, whatever you do, come up with the most boring, idiotic uniforms you can come up with. That's what we're going to do.
We would love to look like a middle school football team. And so the Browns, obviously, and the Brown fans are even worse because they love it. Like, this is like the most garbage-looking uniform I've ever seen. You could probably do something with that orange. You could make some digital camo out of it, or just something. Just, Jesus, why that? Why do you have to make it look like that and be proud of it?
Well, now let's take it easy on the Browns fans. They haven't had anything to be excited about since we don't even know when.
You want to be excited about this?
1990. So I mean, ugly uniforms. It's something.
By the way, that's the 80s.
More than the team is.
That's the 80s.
Is it the 80s?
It's the 80s. They almost made it to the Super Bowl, except for that fumble. Yeah. Anyway,
terrible team.
The Bucks, Atlanta. I'm just in a daze. And honestly, the only team that I can think of that might have a sliver of hope to make a quality uniform is the Rams. I actually like their logo. I think it looks pretty decent. That's just my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna do this mock draft, Neil. All right, let me just outset some of the rules. Let me outline how this is going to go down. 1, all right, we're going to go every other pick. So I'll start at 1, you start at 2. Basically, I have odds, you have evens, except if we land on the Cowboys or Packers. But obviously, your math is better than mine. Cowboys are at 17, an odd number, and the Packers are at 30, even numbers, so it doesn't really matter. There is one important piece to this. And this is specifically for you, Neil. You cannot trade back. There is 0 trades allowable. You're going to have to sit there and pick. And the reason for that is because I'm too much of a cheap bastard to pay for their premium account to allow for trades. So you're going to have to sit there and pick. Any questions, Neil?
Yeah. Now, I was prepared to make at least 8 trades. Take in at least 40 picks out of my 8 trades.
Yep.
And now you're telling me I can't wheel and deal.
Here's the thing. You would likely have to trade back with me, and I will just say no to you. Unless you're trading with yourself.
I just trade back to myself. I just keep trading back to myself.
Depends on how this like potential disaster of a draft goes. When I get to the Cowboys, I might want to trade back really badly. So hopefully those rules make sense. We'll probably overview a little bit of some of these prospects. Also, one other thing. I am predicting a potential disaster at this draft as far as like somebody's connection is going to get interrupted. If I know half these teams as well as I think I know them, you think the Bengals or the Redskins actually can afford decent internet if they can't afford to change the damn seats in their stadiums? No. No.
Did you see it? Did you see today that the Bengals they've been running tests for this virtual draft to make sure it's going to go all right, and it failed on the Bengals?
Did it?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to text Goodell who you want. That's just how it's gonna go. Raj, Burrow. Heart emoji. Heart emoji. Heart emoji.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roger. Burner phone. Let me use my actual one. My bad.
Oh gosh, I have to move your face a little bit. There it is. Okay, so we got to move you right here, away from the pick. Your actual face in real life is fine, but where the button is, I have to move your face. So, with the number 1 pick in the draft, I'm picking. Well, actually, maybe I should put us next to each other. Let's see. I probably should have done that. Probably didn't think it all the way through. Let's just see it on the feedback. Nope, that's not right. Actually, I can see it right here. Boom. You're smaller than me. Okay. All right. With the first pick in the draft, the Bengals go Tua. No, we're gonna go with Joe Burrow. Obviously, it's the easy pick. Although I do think we might see a surprise trade between the Bengals and the Dolphins. I'm just saying, maybe the Dolphins want Burrow really badly, and they have the assets. So, I think if there's a trade to go down for Burrow, it's that. It's that one right there. You're on the clock, Neil. You're gonna surprise us, or you're gonna go with what the experts are calling for?
Well, first of all, going back to Burrow, little known fact: Burrow's dad, I believe it's Jim Burrow.
Okay.
Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, 8th round, back in the 70s.
Wow, that is a while ago. That's when they had, what, like 10, 11 rounds?
Yeah, 12.
12 rounds. Jesus.
Yeah. Another little known fact, the Chicago Bears got Richard Dent, Hall of Fame defensive end, in the 12th round. He was almost, if I remember right, the, what do they call it? The last guy is...
Mr. Irrelevant?
Mr. Irrelevant, yeah. I was going to say nobody cares, but same thing.
I mean, just like that little piece of information, no one cares. So who are you calling for?
Many Bear fans are loving that because they don't have much to actually cheer for. All right, so
they don't have a first round
pick. No, I actually go with Ohio State.
Chase Young?
Corner. Yeah, I do.
Wait. Corner or edge rusher?
No, corner.
You're saying Jeffrey Okudah at number 2?
Jeffrey Okudah at number 2.
Wow. Okay. That is not one I would have expected. All right. Are you sure?
I am, actually. I am.
Okay.
I think for 2 reasons, really.
Wow.
Number 1, this is Washington. They will probably text the wrong name.
Oduka.
They actually need, yeah, they actually do need some back end help, really, really bad. So I think they actually go with a corner right out the gate.
I mean, the Lions are kind of flabbergasted a little bit that's where you went, because the best player is still on the board in Chase Young, but they really wanted Okudah. They lost Darius Slay, and now they're just slightly unsure of what to do. But I think they would go with Chase Young more than happily. On top of which, they can find a cornerback in the 2nd and 3rd round. This is a huge draft for that. But there isn't that many edge rushers like Chase Young in this draft. So we're going to go with Chase Young at number 3.
Sounds good. And, really here's where it really gets interesting in real life. Washington could shock everybody and go with a quarterback.
They could go with Tua.
Detroit could as well, because there's heavy rumors that Matt Stafford could be on the move to New England.
Okay.
Which would really screw the whole draft up.
That would be crazy. Here's the thing. Let's just hypothetical here. Let's say New England is like, you know what? Yeah, we want Stafford. We'll give you a 3rd round pick for him, which I think is great compensation. Do they, if there's Jordan Love or Herbert available, do they still pick them with their first pick?
I think, there's been a lot of talk that Miami is actually thinking about drafting a non-quarterback with that first pick.
I've heard Jedrick Wills' name.
And then drop back because Jordan Love's still going to be there when they pick 16, 17, wherever that's at.
And we were
Again,
talking about
18.
this. We were talking about this before we started
That's very real
streaming.
possible. Yeah.
That maybe Herbert might be there later in this draft.
If somebody's going to slide, it's going to be Herbert.
I think it's going to be Herbert too.
Although now there's rumors that Tua could slide as well. Herbert
I
might
think
go,
that's
but
I
Tua
think
might
that's a little
slide
bit of
just-
smokescreen. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think it's a little bit of smokescreen.
If
If he never got
I
hurt,
would take Tua.
if he never got hurt, everybody would be saying you take 2 at 1.
Well, no, because he's choked in too many big games. Burrow was going to go 1 regardless, but Tua would have been the next one hands down. But Tua has choked in a lot of big Alabama games.
Wow, that's crazy.
Um,
So number 4, we have the Giants. Now I've seen some mocks take Simmons, but listen, you got a stud running back, Neil, and you got a new quarterback who you probably could have drafted in the second round that you took at 5 last year. What are you doing? Are you gonna
he was a top 5 quarterback, man. They got to steal.
Shit. Well, they had 2 picks also. You could have got him at 17, by the way. So
No, I know.
if you could raise your camera up a little bit, Neil.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I was just trying to.
We're getting all Neil chest there. That's not a place we want to be. Now you better get
no place no one wants to be.
Now you better get an offensive lineman to protect that boy.
That's really where I was going with this one is offensive line. Now, I'm a little funny when it comes to offensive line. I think if you're going to go get an offensive lineman, you go get him from the Big Ten because we all know how to run the ball in the Big Ten.
So you're thinking Tristan
I know
Wirth?
Alabama's. Yeah, Tristan Wirth is what I'm taking for that pick.
That's an. I like Tristan Wirth.
They need more. They need a lot of offensive linemen on that team.
Okay, so Tristan Wirth is your pick.
Tristan Wirth is. I think that's a smart move. I don't think they'll do it because it is a smart move. They'll do something dumb, but this is what I would do if I was them.
Okay, all right, Tristan Wirth. Here we go to the Giants, which I agree with you. I think if you go O-line, you better take a big hard look at the Big Ten. We're here in Miami.
A quick little note here with Miami. If you notice all the positions that they need, why don't they just say the whole dang team?
I was honestly like, that was going to be a joke that you just took from me. It's a pick that says everything. It's
everything.
Can we just get everything? I'm going to make it short and easy, or short and simple here. I think they go with Tua. I think he fits Miami. I think he fits what they want to do. I go with Tua on this one. What are your thoughts?
I think you're right at the end of the day. I think they've been smoke screening a lot. I think Tua's been the guy that they've really wanted the whole entire time. Now, if it happens to be Jordan Love, then I could see him, if I was them, if this actually happened like this and we were Nostradamus and we were right on the first 4 picks.
Which we usually are.
Well, I didn't want to brag. Then if I was them, I would go Isaiah Simmons. And then on 18, pick up Jordan Love. But I think Tua is the quarterback they really, really want. I don't think they can step away from it now.
I don't disagree with
Miami.
you. I don't disagree with you on Isaiah Simmons or Jedrick Wills because they just have so many glaring holes. But I think the connection is just too strong.
You might be able to. You're going to be able to get some good offensive linemen in that first round still. There's plenty of them.
So here we are with the San Diego Chargers, another team that needs a quarterback. They haven't signed anybody. No Jameis Winston. They have Tyrod Taylor, right?
They got Tyrod Taylor. He's penciled in as the starter.
He looks like a damn pencil.
Yeah.
Herbert?
I don't know.
You know it's Herbert.
I don't know if they're gonna see. Everybody says it's Herbert. I don't think it Herbert.
He fits the mold of a Chargers quarterback to begin with. He's big. He has a strong arm. He's kind of an airhead. Can't win the big game. So he fits a Chargers quarterback.
Oh man. Okay. So. Yeah. No. I will say Herbert just because. It's probably where he'll go.
Okay.
If I was them, I would start rebuilding that offensive line, drop back, see if you can't. Actually, no,
I
if I was
agree.
them, I would actually trade back and
I think
grab Jordan Love a little bit later in the draft.
I think damn near every team here in this draft could trade back, if I'm being honest with you, just
Yeah.
because. All right, so Justin Herbert it
And
is. Oh, there's our producer,
Justin Herbert
Luch.
is.
Luch, listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. This is, I know I mess around a lot. You texted me you sent me a message at the worst time possible. Um, yeah, there was quite the crisis going on in life, which I'll tell you about later. I'm sorry I missed it, but I will check out your message. You know I love you, and it's good seeing your name on there. I hope you're healthy and safe, man. Um, Man, could there be an easier pairing with the number 7 pick and this prospect coming out? Um, you had Luke Kuechly retire. No, it's all good. I don't mean to make you feel bad, Luch. I love you, buddy. So could there be an easier pairing between these two teams, between this team and this player, right? You had Luke Kuechly, who just recently retired, and I don't know of a better prospect that fits this team outside of Isaiah Simmons. So
Yeah.
Isaiah Simmons, you're up, buddy. The new
That would be if he could drop that far to them, that would be the perfect pairing.
I think he might go to the Giants because the Giants are just dumb enough. But I think the prospect they meet. The other thing is, I was going to say this. I didn't want to influence you, but I do think the Giants secretly might take like a Jerry Jeudy or a CeeDee Lamb. In my opinion, I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, I fully expect them to do something that doesn't protect the quarterback, but makes it look splashy to them, and that's a Judy, that's a Rug, that's a CeeDee
Now,
Lamb. I mean, you name it.
now you just got D Hop. You got Kyler Murray last year. You have a set to be explosive offense, but your defense needs work. However, again, you got yourself a really good young quarterback last year in Kyler Murray. You need to protect the kid. You can't have him scramble every time. He'll get lit up because he's only 5'1". So, I mean, my thing is, I would probably take
5'2", man, 5'2".
5'2". He's a little bit taller than my mom. My thing is, I think they probably go Mekhi Becton or maybe Andrew Thomas. What are your thoughts? It's your pick.
It's Andrew Thomas, I think, all day long.
Andrew Thomas out of Georgia?
I would say Mekhi. I would say Mekhi, except for Mekhi comes from Louisville, and I'm not trying to knock the school. It's not, a massive school, but that's always the question mark when you get to a school that doesn't play the same level of competition as the Georgia plays, or in Alabama, or an Iowa, Penn State, or whatever. So I just think that they go with the sure thing. They go with Andrew Thomas.
All right, Andrew Thomas it is. So we have Jacksonville Jaguars. Sorry. What do the Jacksonville Jaguars need? Just literally every damn thing that could possibly be on the field, they need on their team. But in my head, I see that they traded Calais Campbell, and we got Derek Brown on the board. If we're taking a little bit of a brief history with Jacksonville, they've always prided themselves on their inside D-line. And I think history repeats itself. I think they go Derek Brown on this one. Your thoughts?
So now that they just let another wide receiver go that they paid too much money for, I could see them taking an explosive wide receiver. Whether it be Lamb, Judy.
I think it would be Lamb over Judy for them, but
yeah, I could see them do that. But you are right. What they need and what they love is that defense, and that defense has carried that team for 3 years now. I easily could see Derek Brown from Auburn being the pick that they want to do.
I think that's where I'm going to slot him in. Let's go. All right, the Cleveland Browns. Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
I just can't help but say it that way now. The Browns. That's about the only good thing about that team is Listen, this needs to be an offensive lineman too. It's going to be a little boring.
It has to be. It has to be.
Are you
now,
Jedrick Wills or Mekhi Becton?
Will they take a offensive lineman? Heaven only knows.
Yeah.
It's what they need to do. The Browns never do what they need to do. They always do something half insane, like get a punter. But no, I think Alabama's Jedrick Wills. That's the guy that they should go get. That they need to go get.
Okay.
But they probably won't. But that's what they need.
Okay, so Jedrick Wills.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So we have the Jets at number 11. I am torn on this one because, again, they need an offensive lineman. You got to keep your quarterback healthy. Sam Darnold is in that critical boom bust potential or area. So here's what I think. They lost Robbie, what's his name? Wide receiver.
Robbie Anderson.
I think they go Jerry Jeudy.
You're right. They shouldn't.
They should go Mekhi Becton. I mean, they should go Becton here.
Yeah. But you're right. I think absolutely they go Jeudy.
So, Jerry Jeudy it is. So, the number 12, the Raiders. One of their two picks in this draft?
Yeah, I think they got. Don't they have
they have one at 19.
Vegas Raiders.
The Las Vegas. By the way, their stadium looks beautiful. I love their stadium.
It should. I mean,
it's like all murdered out. It looks fantastic. I'd recommend anybody check it out. Let's recap this draft real quickly. Actually, we'll recap it after this pick.
So, Raiders. They do need wide receivers badly that can get open.
I think CeeDee Lamb is the guy.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb is absolutely who I would have said. Now they could go. Now let me hold off a second. Now, no, they go Henry Ruggs.
Wow.
He's the splash. He's the splash that they're gonna want because they need something splashy going into that new stadium. He is a speed guy. He's a guy that Mr. Gruden thinks the world of. They're going Henry Ruggs. They should go CeeDee Lamb.
If
Henry Ruggs.
If this pick happens, you couldn't carve a smile bigger on San Francisco's front office's face because they could not text Roger Goodell fast enough CeeDee Lamb. So let me just quickly take this pick and then we'll overview this draft. I think it's CeeDee Lamb all the way. You have this just explosive, dynamic talent. It's CeeDee Lamb. Just picking it. So let's quickly overview this draft. Burrow at 1. Who would have thought? A real twist from what you've been hearing. Jeffrey Okudah at cornerback. Last week, Bleacher Report teased that this draft may surprise some people. That would be a surprise. The Lions would be super ecstatic with Chase Young. The New York Giants kind of make a smart move in grabbing Tristan Wirf. Now, 5, you get Tua to Miami, although maybe it might not happen. Same with Herbert to the Chargers. That might not happen. But we're gonna be safe on this one. The Panthers, they get their new linebacker to bring in the next generation of defense there in Isaiah Simmons. The Cardinals at 8 protect their young quarterback, keep that dynamic offense rolling. They grab Andrew Thomas. The Jags get Derek Brown, best on their board at the time. The Browns get Jedrick Wills, an athletic offensive lineman. The Jets probably make the dumb move in taking Jerry Jeudy. Henry Ruggs at 12, which, again, shouldn't surprise anyone, but surprises everyone. And then 13, the San Francisco 49ers take CeeDee Lamb, which, yeah, the Niners and their fans would be supremely happy about that. Do you regret any of the picks you've made?
Yeah, no, because if I was these teams, now granted, I did the Vegas pick, the Las Vegas Raiders. I did that pick as John Gruden. Um, I would not have done Ruggs. I would have went with C.D. Lamb or another piece that they could have possibly needed, but C.D. Lamb is where I would have went there. But the Browns, they need offensive line. The Cardinals need offensive line. The Giants need offensive line, and that's where I'm going toward what teams need.
Mm-hmm. So are you torn? Are you still torn about the Herbert pick?
I am a little bit. Well, I wouldn't go Herbert if I was the Chargers.
You wouldn't?
I really would. I would drop back, honestly, and get myself in position 15, 16, get myself in position to be able to grab Jordan Love and pick up a couple more picks. That's what I would do if I was them.
All right. I see the logic in it. Honestly, I do. All right, so we're at this team called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got a young bust player. He ain't going to be anything. His name is Tim Brody. Just kidding. They got Tom Brady.
He's a young whippersnapper.
Listen, I'm going to say this. I think teams are sleeping on the Bucs. I think nobody takes into account how good their defense is already. The last 8 weeks of the season, 8 or 9 weeks of the season, they absolutely dominated the league. They were the best defense in the league the last half. So they have some monsters there. I think if you're the Bucs, it's your pick, Neil, but I would keep my young quarterback standing. By young, I mean really old. I think you have some weapons on offense, so you might want to protect this guy. What are you thinking?
So the Bucs and Tom Brady has probably already gotten his say as well. This is going to be an easy one. Mackay is going to be the pick that they're going to go with to keep him safe. I would not be surprised at all to see them draft 2-3 offensive linemen in this draft. Now, here's where I differ. I realize that Tom Brady's Tom Brady, but Tom Brady did start looking old last year. Bill Belichick's not an idiot. If he thought he could win the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, he'd have kept him around. So Belichick saw the emotion as well.
I don't know if they would have kept him around.
I think that at the end of the day, maybe the Bucs win 9 games. What we're not taking into account is not Tom Brady; it's how poorly the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been run. They will find a way to jack this all up, without a doubt.
Wow. Okay.
I just don't. I think it's gonna. I think for Tom Brady, he is going to regret going there.
Somewhere out there, our old buddy Juan Thomas is cheering you on.
Well, you got to think about it. Tom Brady's had a cakewalk for how many years? This upcoming season, he's got to play Matt Ryan twice, Drew Brees twice, Aaron Rodgers, and one other. I mean, it's like this is no longer a cakewalk. He's going to have to actually go beat good quarterbacks week in and week out. He's in a much tougher division. I don't see at his age and where his skills were deteriorating last year. He had an owner that desperately wanted to keep him in New England.
Yeah.
If his skills hadn't deteriorated, that owner would have forced.
I do think he was just sick of it a little bit. I do think he was sick of it a little bit.
I think, Tom can say everything he wants to say. He wants the majority of the credit for winning 6 Super Bowls in New England. And he's never going to get it, and he knows it. And so if he goes to Tampa Bay,
he'll never get it the way he wants to get it.
Yeah, well, it's his problem is, and this is the same thing that I've told a few people that it's all Tom Brady, and I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady, most accomplished quarterback in NFL history, no doubt about it. But when Tom Brady missed games, that team was 16-4, or no, 16-6. I think 16-6 when he missed games.
Matt Castle led them to the playoffs.
Matt Castle went 10-5 and led them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Matt Castle couldn't win anywhere else. When Aaron Rodgers misses games, Green Bay is like 4-20. So.
Well, hold on now. When they had McCarthy, they won a few games with some unknown LSU quarterback. So let's. I mean, that was a McCarthy.
It's like 4 or 5. It's like no, it's with McCarthy. McCarthy's been Aaron Rodgers' whole career except for this last season. No, that's what really got McCarthy.
Flynn, Flynn.
Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn won 3 games for us.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh wow! Holy shit! Okay, he somehow got himself to have a new contract with that one from the Seahawks. But okay.
Dude, not only the Seahawks, he got a new contract out of the Seahawks, and he got a new contract out of the Raiders for a backup gig, and then he came back to Green Bay and got a contract there too. So the man has an agent that is brilliant.
So who are we picking for the Bucs here?
Mekhi
Becton.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I don't think there's a doubt there. I think they'll, like I say, I think they'll draft 2-3 offensive linemen in this draft, but Mekhi Becton would be the guy to take.
So, I think if one of those big name wide receivers were here, they would take them. The Broncos
absolutely. They need one bad.
I would consider them being a prime team to trade back. I look at them and I think to myself, I think Javon Kinlaw fits them so well. You get another pass rushing beast to keep that front seven going. I don't think that they would go C.J. Henderson. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but I do think Javon Kinlaw is their guy. I think he would disrupt so much, and he would probably extend Von Miller's career that much more. And then who else do they have? They have Nick Chubb that would be next to him. Gosh, that's a monstrous front seven. So I think I go with Javon Kinlaw here. And I think they take their chances in the second round on DBs.
Do not be shocked if they go Jordan Love.
I would be. I think they like their young quarterback. I think they like Drew Lock.
I think they do. There's rumors that they're just not sold on him. I think they'd be a fool to go away from Drew Lock. I think the kid's going to be good. But I wouldn't be. It's the Broncos. They've been a little weird the last few years, I guess I should say. I wouldn't be shocked if they did something crazy like that. I think, honestly, they could go jump and get. I think they're so desperate for a wide receiver for Drew Lock. They go get whatever the best wide receiver left in the market.
So you think maybe Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson would be a good pick.
I think they'd love to trade back and maybe get Laviska Shenault or Brandon Ayuk, but being that we can't, I think it's just too.
They could really use. I mean, CJ Henderson. They definitely need a corner. They could use a safety too. I wouldn't be shocked to see him take Xavier McKinney.
I think Grant Delpit fits our profile a little bit, but Xavier McKinney, I can see almost going anywhere in this draft. But I'm going to go with Javon Kinlaw here.
Yeah. Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons. What's your 28-3 move here? You have a 28-3 chance at your next pick. What do you go with?
Man, they need defensive help so bad it's not even funny. And they do need corners. C.J. Henderson, I think, is the no-brainer for them.
My heart would be broken right here.
But no, I think C.J. Henderson.
You think C.J. Henderson? Heart would be broken if you picked this. All right, C.J. Henderson it is. I like the pick. I like C.J. Henderson a lot. I think he's a dynamic corner. Yeah, man. I wouldn't fault C.J. Henderson from being picked between probably 7 to Dallas is where it stops. But seeing as how C.J. Henderson's off the board now, what does Dallas need? We need cornerback, we need edge, we need safety, and we need now a center. But I think they feel pretty good about center. I think if C.J. Henderson was there, they would pick him because they think they've probably done enough with their D-line. But if they're looking in the mirror and they're saying, all right, who is our best pick? Who is our best player on the board? They know they can't rely on Aldon Smith and Randy Gregory. So I really think Kayvon Chaison's the guy. My only problem with Chaisson is that he's a little bit too skinny. And some people go back and look at his numbers with LSU, and they're not the numbers of a guy who, like, jumps off the page. But when you watch him, he is explosive, dynamic, hard hitting, and opportunistic. And it might be a boom or bust pick, but I think that's the chance you take because you're at 17 and we can't trade back here. So I think if all else fails, Dallas would trade back. I've heard recently they like Yetur Gross Matos, who reminds me of like Daniil Hunter. The guy's huge and the guy hits hard, can stop the run, can rush the passer. But I think here in this case, we go with Caleb on Chason, which I'd be happy with, honestly.
It'll be that or the best punter in the draft. It'll be one.
Probably the best punter who is. Dude, we don't even have punter available on here. Do you see that? This thing knows what reality is. So here's the deal, man.
Gonna be on his phone going, "Is Johnny Manziel still available?"
Is it? So here's the deal. We have you with Miami at number 18. Now we just got ourselves a really good young quarterback. We got to protect him, but we also need some damn defense. What's your thoughts?
You have to go. You got to go start building that offensive line. And I'm gonna really hate that I'm gonna do this to myself.
Josh Jones.
No. See, now here's where I'm perplexed.
Okay.
I think the best offensive tackle on that list right there, next, is Austin Jackson from USC.
Really? 6'6", 310.
Kid's got some motion. He can move. I like the guy.
Super athletic.
Yeah.
So we're going Austin Jackson.
You know what? I think that they go. Actually, I think that they go Isaiah Wilson.
Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What made you change it up?
It's probably greed, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, greed. I really want Austin Jackson in Green Bay, and so it's probably greed.
You know what I love about this next pick? They have wide receiver literally highlighted twice on here. That's how badly it's needed.
That is for the sake of Pete, man, we need a wide receiver.
Okay, I'm between two players, right? And I know whoever I pick, the Jaguars are going to pick the other guy that I want, right? And so I think it's between Xavier McKinney at safety for the Raiders, who just kind of embodies that team in a hard-hitting style, but also I see Kristen Fulton here. And so that's where I'm having a tough time. I want to lean Kristen Fulton, but I also think that the need for safety and to just anchor that down, since they lost that one kid recently that they drafted a few years ago. Gosh, do you remember his name?
No, I don't, off the top of my head. But
shoot.
I know what you're talking about.
Neil, what do you think?
Oh, man. I think they go Xavier McKinney first.
I think they go Xavier McKinney.
McKinney's still there at 19. They go him. They need both. They need a safety. They need a cornerback. They need them both. But it would be I would say McKinney.
We're going McKinney. Jacksonville Jaguars, you're up.
And I think that's really you're dead right. I think Fulton goes to the Jaguars.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not as big a fan on Gladney. I like Fulton better.
Here's the thing. I like Gladney. I don't like Gladney in the top half of this first round. I like him as a 1-2 pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's literally been predicted every which way from Sunday that Justin Jefferson goes to the Eagles. I think if they're smart, they pick Justin Jefferson because they need the help. Personally, I think they're a trade-up candidate because they want one of those top 3 wide receivers. But if they stay put, I think Justin Jefferson's the guy. Maybe, by the way, I think maybe Josh Jones, but I think Justin Jefferson. Thank God you have the Vikings in that joke because I do not know what I would pick here.
Well, now the Vikings need a wide receiver. Goodness knows that the wide receiver that they got rid of actually semi could put up with Kirk Cousins. The one they kept hates him. So they need a wide receiver really bad. However, they also need a corner really, really bad.
Okay.
I think. Man, it's kind of a tough one.
It is. I think Gladney personally, but here's the thing about the Vikings: they have not really made their name with first round wide receivers. Every one of them have failed except for Randy Moss. And believe me, it's a lot more than you think they picked in the first round. So I think it's corner.
Wide receivers so deep this year. I think you're right. I think Gladney's the guy that they go with because they need corners really, really bad.
Yep. We're going Gladney on this one?
You going Gladney?
Okay. So we got the Patriots, number 23. I mean, this is going to be a really easy one. J.K. Dobbins, they need a damn third running back, for God's sakes. No, I'm kidding. To me, it's Jordan Love. I just think it's too smart of a pick.
Jalen Hurts? I thought Jalen Hurts for sure.
You just want Jordan Love as Packer. Now, if we're being honest, I think for some reason they would pick like A.J. Epinesa, and he would be like a damn Pro Bowler, like year one. But which I like that kid, by the way. But I do think it's Jordan Love. I think they're going to get Jordan Love, and
no, I think you're right.
And they're going to be happy. I mean, so Jordan Love. Oh, I meant to say Jalen Hurts. My bad. Listen, if you're going to get my input on this one, I think it's linebacker Kenneth Murray. Second, Patrick Queen. I think they need linebacker help so badly.
I actually was going to say Patrick Queen's going to be the guy I think they go with.
You think Patrick Queen's the guy?
Yeah.
Caribbean Queen?
I think they seem enamored by him.
Okay.
You're right. They need linebacker help really, really bad. And that is, I think, the direction they go.
I would have picked Kenneth Murray. You're going Patrick Queen, so Patrick Queen it is. All right, we're at 25. We just got our corner. So I'm going to go ahead and... gosh, this is tough.
No, actually, here's what Minnesota does right now.
They
call Dallas up and offer 14 picks for Ezekiel Elliott.
For our second running back.
Yeah. And because, I mean, you can't have too many running backs. And then, Bill O'Brien gets jealous and offers 15 picks.
Okay. So they just really lost Robert Griffin. And I think they look at the board, they see A.J. Epinesa, but personally, I highlighted this guy earlier. I think Yetur Gross-Matos is too enticing. He makes too much sense as a Viking. Dude is 6'5", just a powerhouse at the edge, and can stop the run. I think if he puts hands on somebody like Aaron Rodgers, whoever the Bears quarterback is, I think he disrupts all these teams' offensive tackles. So I'm going with Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State. Say that name 3 times fast. Say my name 3 times fast. Just good luck.
Hey, say mine 3 times fast.
Neil Siegelack. Whatever. It's Neil. So, real quickly, who did we pick for the Dolphins? Isaiah Wilson at 18. Listen,
the Dolphins are going to stick with a good, solid game plan here. They probably won't, but I'm going to say that they're going to stick with a good, solid game plan here. Cesar Ruiz from Michigan, another lineman. They need to beef that line up and start building this team the right way for the first time in forever.
I would have said Jonathan Taylor or Grant Delpit, but yeah, okay.
And you very well could be right with, either Dobbins, Swift, or Taylor as a running back, because they do need a running back. And they could use a safety as well in Delpit. I just think that they're going to do the smart thing. They're going to try to build this team right way. Ruiz would be the guy I would go with.
Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. All right, we got the number 27 Seattle Seahawks. They just lost Cesar Ruiz. They're a little bit upset. I feel like it's like a reoccurring nightmare that they need offensive tackle. I think Josh Jones is the guy, but that is not what they made their name on. They see Grant Delpit, they probably think to themselves, boy, we might have another Earl Thomas. I'm between Grant Delpit and AJ Epinesa, even though, wait, no, AJ Epinesa's gone? No, he's not. He's still here. Now, I think it's Grant Delpit. I'm going to say Grant Delpit. What are your thoughts?
Well, the smart money move for Seattle would be to go with an offensive lineman, so Russell Wilson doesn't have to run for his life.
It's not what they do, though.
I don't see him. They never do in the first round. That would be the smart move. I don't see him doing that. Now, I could see them. Their running game was so horrific at times last year. J.K. Dobbins could easily be the guy that they end up going to get. We all know Russell Wilson will make his pitch for his Wisconsin alum man, Jonathan Taylor. Heck, Russ Wilson's probably making a bigger pitch for a couple of the offensive.
They already got a running back like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, but he hurt quite a bit.
He was.
Everybody was hurt last year.
Yes.
I mean, they were dipping into the,
I
way back
think,
zone last year.
I think Grant Delpit.
Yeah, no, I very well could be. They need defense more than they need offense.
Yeah.
But they do need some offensive alignment.
Shit. This is tough. This is really tough. I'm like, I want to pick Grant Delpit, but I don't feel good. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. Well, fuck it. I'll just go Grant Delpit. Yeah. Whatever. I'll let you make this decision. Listen, linebacker need right here. Kenneth Murray or Zach Bond. I think those, and whoever picks this one, the next team picks the other one.
Yeah.
Or AJ Epinesa. They do need edge help.
Actually, I think they're not going to be able to hold off of AJ Epinesa. I think AJ is where they go.
AJ, okay.
Yeah, he looks like a Raven.
He does. Listen, you just got a new quarterback. I was going to say Kenneth Murray. Shit, man, you got to keep your quarterback up, and that boy is old. So I think they go Josh Jones, Houston.
Okay.
We got Green Bay.
Woo.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see here. Yes, this is another one of those teams that when something's needed really bad when they list wide receiver, tight end, and then you go back down.
I put it at player ranking.
So we actually need linebacker worse than we need anything. That's why I love the wide receiver being listed first.
Kenneth Murray. Wow.
However, if Kenneth Murray is there, Kenneth Murray, I believe, would be the pick. Zach Bond from Wisconsin is going to be attractive to him as well, especially after he missed on TJ Watt and screwed up there. Here's where I think Green Bay will go. We got a GM that's trying to make himself a name and separate himself out from the other GMs in Packer history, and the recent ones have been pretty doggone good.
Are you thinking Chenault?
So the rumor I saw come through the Packer tea leaves was Mims.
Wow, out of Baylor.
Yeah.
You were going with Mims on this one.
We're going to go. So I would pick
I've
Austin
seen Mims.
Jackson, you know that.
Repeat that again?
I would go Austin Jackson, the offensive lineman
Right.
out of USC. And quite honestly, they need to. It's a joke we've got offensive tackle listed at the end. We just let Brian Beluga, a top 5 offensive tackle in the NFL, sign somewhere else, which means we've got a gaping hole on that side of the ball.
Yep.
Austin Jackson should be the pick. I'm going to step out on a limb. I'm going to say it's Mims.
Okay. I've seen Mims drafted there before. Okay, so shoot. We got the San Francisco 49ers. Man, I don't know how long what's his name on the other side is going to hold up. That's the player I'm looking at. I think corner, I think Jalen Johnson is the guy. Last pick of the draft, Neil. Thank God it's you and not me. I can see running back here. I can see O line. I can see O line. But we do also have Kenneth Murray still. Like just again, the fact that this kid's dropped this far is crazy. But I could see them saying, "Let's grab a running back." You have 3 of the best running backs still on the board.
Yeah. So Ezra Cleveland. If I was Kansas City, I would lean toward Ezra Cleveland. However, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, and Jonathan Taylor still sit on that board.
I like Jonathan Taylor the best personally, but that's just me.
I do as well, personally. But a lot of people are big on DeAndre Swift. I think the guy that looks the most like Kansas City is J.K. Dobbins. And J.K. Dobbins would be the 32nd pick.
Wow, there it is. Finalizing our draft. So let's do a quick overview again. So we got Burrow, Okuda, no trades, by the way. Okuda to the Redskins, Chase Young to the Lions. A smart pick by the Giants, Tristan Wirfs. Tua 5 with the Dolphins, but we're both shaky on that. Same with Justin Herbert to the Chargers, both shaky on that. I would not be surprised if the Panthers maybe take a quarterback if one of those guys slip. But in this draft, I went ahead and grabbed Isaiah Simmons. We went with Andrew Thomas at offensive tackle to the Cardinals. Number 9, we went with Derek Brown to the Jags. Then we went with the Browns, getting Jedrick Wills, not to be confused, another offensive lineman. And then, all right, we had our run on wide receiver. So Jerry Jeudy to the Jets at 11. Henry Ruggs at 12 to the Raiders, which shocks us all again. CeeDee Lamb to the 49ers, which I think they would trade back. I think the Cowboys would trade up. If they got the sense that both Chason and C.J. Henderson would be gone, and they can't trade back, and they want one of those two guys, they would trade up with San Francisco. Package a 3rd or a 4th and flip. So 14, we're going to keep Tom Brady, that young, scrappy kid, standing up with all his scrambling techniques, with Mekhi Becton. I am hearing some things about Becton, him being in love with food a little bit, but he's an offensive lineman. He better love food, as long as he can perform. 15, Javon Kinlaw to the Broncos, which I think the Broncos, they feel like trade-up candidates, in my opinion, but C.J. Henderson to the Falcons at 16. 17, the Dallas Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys. Go with the future Hall of Famer and Kayvon Chason at edge from LSU. At 18, the Dolphins, Isaiah Wilson. They got to keep Tua standing up. So 19, we go with the Raiders getting Xavier McKinney, a hard-hitting safety out of Alabama. The Jaguars fill their hole at cornerback with Kristen Fulton at LSU. 21, the Eagles, go with Justin Jefferson. 22, cornerback Jeff Gladney to the Vikings. Jordan Love, 23, quarterback to the Patriots. He's the next Tom Brady. I think we all know that. Patrick Queen, number 24, to the Saints. Yetur Gross-Matos, 25, to the Vikings, edge rusher. Number 26, Cesar Ruiz, offensive lineman, to the Dolphins. Is he a guard? I think he's a center, right?
I believe he's a center.
I think he can play both. So,
typically a center could and guards can switch back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's a center. Number 27, Grant Delpit to the Seahawks. Number 28, AJ Epinesa to the Ravens. Even though actually in hindsight, I think Kenneth Murray should be that guy. Number 29, Josh Jones, to keep their young, scrappy quarterback standing up so he can throw 80 yards a game. Number 30, Denzel Mims, wide receiver out of Baylor, to Green Bay. Number 31, Jalen Johnson, cornerback out of Utah. And then number 32, Mr. Not Really Irrelevant, is J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State running back. How do you feel about this draft, Neil?
I just realized that you could tell I am from Wisconsin. I got drafted like 8 offensive linemen, trying to shore up everybody's offensive line. I think if there's some teams that are smart that have got young quarterbacks, they're going to shore up their offensive line. I just don't know how many smart teams are out there anymore. Everybody wants to splash pick, fancy pick.
I agree with you 100%. I feel pretty good about this draft. I think this is a safe draft, but I mean, I think you're due for some crazy ass picks. Quite a bit of them.
Oh, we still have no idea what the Bengals are going to do.
I think they're going to. I think they should trade back. Honestly.
Oh, they need so much. I mean, they need a whole team.
Absolutely.
Trade back. Even if they trade back and they end up with Jordan Love, they're not in position to start winning today, anyways. So.
Can I be honest with you? I think Justin Herbert is more of a Bengals quarterback than I think Burrow or Tua or Jordan Love are.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Tall, strong arm quarterback. I think he fits the bill. Personally, that's just me.
Talking about the Bengals, what about the little Red Rider? Is he signed anywhere yet, or is he still?
No, he's still a Bengal. They haven't traded him off yet.
Well, I know they've been trying to trade him. I know the Patriots actually took a look at him. And
I think teams will go, like, quarterbacks will start to fill out after this draft. I think, in fact, closer to the start of the season, maybe preseason, you'll start seeing your Jameis Winstons and Cam Newtons go somewhere. So those are my thoughts as far as like what's going to happen with quarterbacks.
I could see the Chargers, depending on what they do, and this is the other thought, is if the Chargers, if Herbert's what's there, I could see the Chargers looking down and going, you know what, let's beef up the rest of the team. Let's go get Jameis Winston once this draft is done with. Bring him in. He's got a strong arm. He's kind of a Charger-type quarterback. He'll throw his picks, but he'll get you touchdowns. He'll throw for a bunch of yards. I could see Jameis Winston being that quarterback for the Chargers.
That would be crazy.
It would be a better pick. I think it'd be a better move than getting Justin Herbert. Now, depending on what you do with that pick. You go get some knucklehead, then that kind of deflates it. But
I'm just not a Jameis Winston fan, I guess, because he annoys the hell out of me.
I'm not a huge Winston fan, but he does have an arm. If he could I think if Jameis Winston could find a quarterback, and really, here's the ideal situation for Jameis Winston, to be honest with you. Jameis Winston's agent needs to call Jerry Jones and go, hey, look, we'll come play backup.
Leave us alone. Leave us alone.
But Mike McCarthy, I knock Mike McCarthy a lot. I had to deal with him a lot in Green Bay. He wasn't that terribly good of a coach. Mike McCarthy does one thing. He does one thing really, 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 really well. He fixes quarterbacks' mechanics. And for Jameis Winston, it would be worth sitting on the bench, backing up Dak Prescott for 1 year just to have Mike McCarthy work and fix his mechanics. And then go try to find a starting job after that. Even 2 years, I don't care. It would be worthwhile for him to get his mechanics.
I think he would be a worthwhile backup quarterback personally, but that is my opinion.
Well, let's face it. Jerry Jones then has a legitimate starting quarterback sitting on that roster looking at Dak Prescott going, look, sign a deal or I got somebody else. He could put the pressure on Dak to sign a deal he wants him to sign.
Would any of these teams give their first round pick for Dak Prescott?
According to New York, the Jets will give you 2 first-round picks.
You mean the Jets?
Yes, today.
I'd consider that. I'd heavily consider that. But also, I'd just pay the man. I'd also pay the man.
It all depends on What threw me off, and now I understand where Jerry Jones's predicament is with Dak Prescott. It's not the dollars per year. It's the fact that Dak does not want more than 3 years on this deal.
4 years, I think, is what it is.
3. He wants 3. Jerry is willing to go apparently 4 or 5. He would rather spread that signing bonus money out.
Yeah.
But Dak wants 3, which screws Jerry overall on that signing bonus.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to pay him again.
Yep. And they're gonna have to pay him big. Dak knows that gambling money hits in 2 years, and that's what he's shooting for. It's a smart move. But to be honest, at that point in time, if I'm Dak, I'm playing underneath the franchise tag the next 2 years.
And you'd be okay with that?
31 this year. Yeah, you're gonna get 31 this year, fully guaranteed. You're gonna get 35 next year, fully guaranteed, and then you can really cash in because by that point in time, Mahomes and everybody else is signed, and you would be able to cash in big time. They protect the quarterback so much now. He does not have the risk you have in the 1990s when you were, John Elway and Brett Favre and all those guys. The quarterback is so much more protected. He's got a good offensive line. He doesn't have a whole lot of risk out there. 31 million guaranteed, 35 million guaranteed. Do the Kirk Cousins plan. You'll get paid.
I hate that personally. You know what I hate? It's just annoying. Just sign him, pay him, or trade him. I don't care. I just don't want to have to keep seeing this on the news. Let's just move on already. This
has gotten so old.
Yeah. I'm over it personally. Yeah.
It's older than a Tom Brady high school T-shirt, ladies and gentlemen.
She was a foxy lady. Well, dude, Neil, honestly, it's awesome seeing you again, man. I missed you. I know we talk every day, but this is the first time I've seen you in about a year. I hope all's well with you and the family. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy. Same with everybody that watched. Thank you guys for coming to hang out and listen to us banter and BS. Yeah, man, this was fun. This was fun.
We gotta strike up the band. Once sports gets back on, I'd really like to strike the band back up and keep this going a little bit more frequently than once a year. Yeah.
Once every 6 months.
But yeah, no. It would be fun to do every other week or so. But there's not a whole heck of a lot to talk about right now outside of the fact that oil's the lowest it's been since they've.
How much is gas over there?
So it depends where you're talking about. I am 40 minutes, 45, or I should say 40 minutes, 40 miles, 45 miles south of DC.
Okay.
So gas in my backyard is like $1.39. But if you go up to DC, it's still like $1.89, 99.
I think when I went up to Round Rock to see my mom, it was like I thought it said like $1.30 something, but it could be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, in the Midwest, they said there's places that are actually down to 99 cents now.
What?
And I don't know if you saw today. I've never seen this before in my life. Oil is actually negative dollars per barrel. We are out of room storing, so basically we can't. They actually have to pay somebody to take oil at this point. Negative $37 a barrel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild as hell, man.
So yeah, the oil companies. I've been trying to buy oil, large oil company stocks. They'll come out of this just fine.
Yeah.
As much as I can in my little increments every couple weeks, because I know by the end of the year when everything is back to running about as normal as possible, these oil companies are going to be crushing it again, and I'll actually make some good money.
Oh, you know it's going to steamroll again. We all make it through healthy and safe, but I expect the world to pick back up and start rolling through again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. We've known for 4 weeks now that we're going nowhere till June 10th, and most likely it'll be in July before we really get a lot.
Everyone here is thinking about May 8th.
Yeah, I know. Well, the southern states have got a little bit of advantage. It gets a little hotter, a little warmer, a little quicker. They're thinking the warm weather is going to help contain this a little bit
Yep.
as they're searching out. I, the other side of it is East Coast, West Coast. They're going to take it a lot more cautiously. We got a whole
Yep.
lot of people out here, between, DC all the way up to Boston. There's a whole truckload of people.
Yep.
So we're going to take it nice and easy. I mean, it works for me right now. I get to work from home every day of the week, so my commute is actually very small.
Saving a lot on gas, I can say that much. But
Oh, dude, I filled my car up 4 weeks ago. It's still at over 3/4 of a tank.
okay, wow.
So yeah.
All right, man. Well, dude, again, good seeing you. We'll do this soon.
You as well, man.
Good luck in the draft with your Packers. I hope they take the next bust. So, yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.